Right. All right. What
All
it
right,
do,
we live.
RCC crew? Welcome back to our channel, Real Chill Conversations. We are here to welcome our special guest for the first time on Real Chill Conversations, Stacy. How you doing today, Stacy? I want to thank you so much for accepting to join us today. You are the first person, the first guest on our show, so you are very special to us.
Special.
Today
Hey,
we are going to
ladies.
talk about sex and toys, y'all. And
Yay.
we have Stacy in the building today to discuss it with us. Yes, we are not alone in this, okay? This is not only about sex and toys though, but it is also about educating ourselves in the mix of this and it. Okay?
Right, right.
Shout out to all the Leos. It is their season. Shout out to the Leos. So let's get into it. Tonight we bringing in the heat, that fire, and that good stuff. So let's get into it. All right. And I do want to say this. Sex is not something we should be ashamed of in any kind of way. We shouldn't be, we shouldn't feel ashamed of it. It's normal. It's not out of this universe. So we can definitely talk about it and have a conversation. We all grown here. Oh yeah, and before I forget, y'all, if y'all have any little ones in the room, please send them on to the next room because this is a grown folks video. Okay. And I also do want to say that it is okay to wonder and ask questions because I have them myself. So let's get into it. And we got Stacy here, the expert, to help us out. So my first
Expert.
question. Oh, Stacy, no, hold up. Introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do.
Yes, ma'am.
I am Stacy. I sell sex toys through Pure Romance, so I'm an advanced consultant with Pure Romance. So that's what I do. That's the job I love to do. I have a job that I have to do. I'm waiting to get this job that I love to do to take over, so I won't have to do so much of the jobs that I don't want to do. So, selling toys, basically selling orgasms. That's what I do, and I have fun doing it. So,
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for doing that for us today. And let's get to our conversation because we have a lot of kinky stuff to talk about today. And I want to first start with this though, y'all. I've been thinking about this question. I really want to start about this. In what way do orgasms help people understand what their body is doing? Do anybody want to join in and kind of like let us know?
I mean, I definitely, Stacy, I think this is a great one for you to jump in on it and explain. But I from experience, I'm going to tell you that I really didn't have any idea as to what exactly was going on. What I thought was supposed to be happening from watching like Sex in the City and other shows and all of that, it's not necessarily this mind blowing, you're hooting and hollering, and then you just feel like your whole body has just been lifted up to another level. I've literally had a point when I'm like, that's it, that was that, like, am I doing something wrong? Do I not understand? So I think it's definitely, let's talk about what orgasms do for your bodies, and I mean, and how healthy it is to be able to have that release, whether you're doing that with a significant other or you are helping yourself along with perhaps possibly some toys.
okay. So orgasms are, well, we all know that men, every time they have sex, they have an orgasm. Okay, because that's what they ejaculate. That's their orgasm. They get the whole high, the low, the calm, and everything. We can have sex for years and never experience an orgasm. Years. Some women are in their 40s, and I've talked to people, and they're like, I've never experienced an orgasm. They just have sex. And that's basically what we're doing when we're in our 20s and teenagers, and we're like, oh, we're just gonna let him put it in, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? And as long as he has his orgasm, then I did it right. But we don't get satisfaction from it. Um, Orgasms for females, I had to look behind me. I thought somebody was standing behind me and it scared me. Um, Orgasms for females, it's the most healthy thing in our life. If you want to be a happy person, have an orgasm regularly. And I'm not talking about have sex regularly. You can play with a toy, have an orgasm. It helps your mental, it helps your physical, it helps everything. It even helps fight off Alzheimer's and um, dementia, which is crazy, right? And it's all because of the hormone that your brain releases when you have orgasms. So when you see elderly women deep bopping around and stuff, and they're not walking around with a cane and they, you know what I mean? They're not angry. They having sex or they got a toy. Okay. I want to die having an orgasm. That's how I want to go. I want to go that way. Okay.
Oh my
So
God, that is interesting, Stacy. That is very that is very interesting. Interesting for
I was gonna
real.
say orgasm too much.
no. Why would you think
Like
that?
too many too many times does your body, like if you're using a toy, for instance, like a vibrator, and let's say you do it like 2, 3, 4 times a day, like will that make you insensitive? Or if you do it, once a week, I'm not saying once a week, once a day every week, would that make you like less sensitive to doing it during sexual intercourse with somebody? Or like what are the
I
effects of
don't. I think that, well, of course, I'm speaking more of personal experience and a lot of what I hear we talk about at parties because I'm doing a lot of toy parties and things and listening to different women tell their story and stuff like that. But um, playing with a toy regularly makes you more um, I'll say horny. I'll put it that way. It makes you horny. So if you're playing with a toy regularly and your man touches you, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm feeling that because what I was just doing behind your back. Um, but I don't think that there's. I guess hindsight, too much of anything can be too much. I guess I need to think about that because do I do it too much? I don't know. I gotta, I gotta think of that because I don't think with a toy, orgasm is, it's what the toy is doing for you, hitting the right spot quickly. And with a man, it's more mental and physical. You know what I mean? With you doing it to yourself, you're gonna hit the spot right. You know, and it's finding a toy like Dominique, like you were finding a toy that's right for you is almost like dating. You know what I mean? And you try it out, and you're like, I don't like that. So you got to see, like, everybody should be masturbating. I mean, that's whether you are playing with a toy or not. You got 5 fingers on each hand that should be your boyfriend if you ain't got one.
Okay, so
So
let me get this right, Stacy. Are you saying we need to practice it so we won't get like stressed out and stuff like that? Like,
yes,
Yes,
definitely.
woo.
you gotta practice it so that you're not getting stressed out, but B, you also have to be able to really understand what your body
Yourself.
responds to. Like, not everybody responds to the jackrabbit technique.
Uh-uh.
You know what I'm
No.
saying? Sometimes you need the slow and the circles and put it in the S and do with the O and everything else. Like, not
Mhm.
everyone responds the same, but if you're not practicing, if you're not going
Okay.
through that, then how are you gonna know? You're just going through it and then you're disappointed because you're like, that's it.
Yeah. Well, one thing you got to think of: how can we guide our man on how to get us to that point if we don't know how to get ourselves to that point? They really do not know what to do with us. They don't have us. We have it. So if you know your nipples and your clit is your spot because you played with those spots, then that's what you tell him. But you can't tell him, you can't just lay in front of him like a buffet and say, I don't know, find it, because I don't know where the hell it is. You can't do that.
Oh my God, that is such a good point right there. I gotta go with you on that one. Yes, that is a good point right there.
Yeah, go find it.
I can't stop laughing. Like Dominique's face was like, okay, okay.
Go find it. I mean, you can't expect him to get it right if you can't get it right. So, I mean, you best believe they're gonna tell you how to lick it, how to suck it, and all that kind of stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't tell you, they force you to do it. So,
Yeah,
that, you know,
yeah.
so you
And
just
it's
gotta
like,
be able
well,
to say, hey, look,
uh-huh,
left, right, up, down.
right.
God, make cue cards if you need to. But we just gotta practice this thing. And the longer you're with somebody and they learn your body and you learn theirs, you'll realize that sex is great
I
because
mean,
it's a lot of feeling in it.
it is a lot of feeling. And for me, like one of the questions that I had for you, Stacy, I was wondering if it came up a lot, with the parties and when you guys are like playing games and like having fun and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. I mean, do men automatically equate a woman's level of wetness with, yeah, I'm doing it right, and yeah, she's excited? Because some people are just a little more naturally
Mm-hmm.
lubricated than others, but then others have a really difficult time based
Yeah.
on other things that are going on. Like there are certain health conditions that are going on, certain
Yes.
health things that can keep you from being able to have that wetness that you want and that you need to have an enjoyable experience. Which a little bit later on we're gonna talk to T, because T got a little something I think we gonna do with the NutriBurst, because we need to get all them nutrients and
Yes.
replenishments for all of those things. But I think that guys, don't necessarily even understand, you can't tell that this is like dry as hell. Like
Yeah.
this would
No,
not be possibly enjoyable for you.
right. There, I tell everybody, and I think everybody that sells any kind of sex toys, if even if you think you don't need a lubricant, don't have sex without a lubricant. You don't
Oh,
understand how good sex is until you have a lubricant. I mean, and find something natural. We sell one that's called Just Like Me, and it's a very, very natural one. It's not clumpy or anything, but your body, you can have an orgasm and dry up within seconds, but want to keep going.
I
You
think
get
I
what I'm
have that
saying?
one. I think I have
Yeah,
that one. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, you do. I know you
Yeah.
do. So you have to you use a lubricant, even if you think, oh, I don't need no lubricant. Use it. You'll figure out that, dang, sex was like real good last night, and you didn't have to worry about drying up. He didn't need to spit on nothing. And I don't know about y'all. Uh,
Yeah. I
I'm not feeling
mean,
the spit, but that's just me. But use a lubricant. It's the best thing going. We have a lot of stuff going on. The female body is very difficult. We're
and
not very,
sensitive. It's
yeah,
sensitive.
we're not very user friendly. Um, so we're not just plug and play. I'll just say that. So we need some caressing. You got to warm up the car before you start it, before you drive off. You got to warm it up, uh, or we break down. And you need the lubricant, even if you think you don't. I tell everybody, I don't care how young you are, and you think you got it all loosey, juicy, goosey down there, but you need to use a lubricant.
Wow,
Not
that's
using
a
one,
good.
you will tear up.
Yeah, that's a very good point. T, you want anything to reiterate on this?
Where's
I
he
think
go? Oh,
Oh,
there
no,
she is.
I'm here. I'm here, y'all. I think I hit the wrong button, but no, I'm actually just I'm listening. But no, I mean, I like it. I like it. I don't have anything yet.
I had a question about the lubricants because a lot of people think that you might just be able to use like regular lotion or baby oil,
Oh,
or what are the
oh,
dangers from using that and mixing that with your personal goodies and
mm,
juices as
Mm.
opposed to getting a lubricant that is from
yeah.
some
Ooh.
like a brand that's actually reputable.
Well, you don't want to mess up your pH balance. And once you mess your pH balance up, it's real hard to get it right back to where you need it to be.
Yeah.
So always use something that's supposed to be down there. Um, Lotion ain't supposed to be down in there. Lotion for your elbows and your knees. It ain't for your, it ain't for, oh Lord, have mercy. Baby oil too ain't supposed to be down there. And watch it with guys that use powder and they don't wash it off before they go sticking it in. We not plug and play, y'all. We not plugging. You need to wash that thing. Get that powder off, because that'll mess up your pH balance too. And there ain't enough chlorophyll to drink or take or anything like that. You know, the probiotic.
CMOS gel, probiotics. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
We
and it's
sensitive.
embarrassing to go to OBGYN and say, hey, he used lotion and baby oil. They're going to look at you like you got three heads. You let him stick that in. Dove and Lutriderm or whatever that is, that does not belong in your vajayjay. Or what did you used to call it, Brenna, a long time ago? Your Pikachu.
The Pikachu.
Yes, it don't belong in it.
I care too much about my Pikachu. Listen, we not gonna mess her up because we just not gonna do that.
Look, I don't know all about that baby lotion and powder. I'm like, I don't think so.
No, don't
But
do
y'all, let's go ahead to the next question that we have for the night. And I wanted to ask y'all this. Orgasms can be too short or too long. You know, like, how can you really stimulate it to the reach of your desired satisfaction? Because I think a lot of us have this question. So let's ask the expert, Stacy, what you think about that?
I didn't know that you could have an orgasm that's too long. Like I thought the longer the better, but you know, it's you know, orgasms come on with a lot of mental. Most of our sexual experience is mental. Most of it. It's not even physical for women. So you can't have a bad day, get cussed out constantly, and then somebody say, "All right, just go bend over and you all right." Like you know, I need to be loved and caressed and stuff to reach the point of orgasm. Now I can have sex. Shoot, our population would be zero if we could only have babies if we orgasmed. Okay. The guys, like I said, every time they have sex, they orgasm. But we can ovulate, we can have babies, we can do all that stuff without having an orgasm. But it's mental for us. So if the mood is right, the feeling is right, you're gonna orgasm really good. If the mood ain't right, you just can't bring yourself to it. It ain't nothing. It might not be something wrong with the guy. It could be you just had a bad day. You know what I mean? You got your kids on your mind, you got this on your mind, you got that on your mind. It just ain't the right time.
So some of the things that I was able to get in touch with is like maybe getting in touch with your body and like appreciating your body more. And I did read this, y'all, because I did my research like always, but it's playing with toys too. Edwina, what you let me see. Let me see. Edwina, what you got to say about that?
You know, I like toys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. You know, my thing about toys, I believe in using toys. I like toys. I just feel like when you bring toys into the picture, it just expands things for you and your lover. Sometimes we're closed-minded to toys because we think, oh, it could be bad, or I'm playing with a dildo with my husband or my partner. But when you actually start bringing toys in the mix, it just, to me, it makes things funner and exciting and joyful.
Oh, okay. And since Edwina answered her question about toys, she said playing with the toys in the mix, you know, bringing your partner in. I want to know, when is the perfect time for toys, though? Like, how do you know when to bring them into your relationship?
You don't. You just bring it up. Just talk
Because
about it.
I'm not gonna lie, I be like, I be wondering and stuff sometimes that, when is the perfect time? When can you?
I'd be worried that I'm gonna come home one day and it's gonna be 50 Shades of Grey and we haven't had a conversation about it. I mean, there's just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be like, what have you been practicing on? Who have you been practicing with? I mean, the whole hands behind your back with the bar thing that we twist, and that's a lot.
That sounds like fun.
That is a lot.
It's like a conversation. You just have to say, hey, can we talk about something real quick? And if you say it like that, they get on the defensive, because as soon as you say, hey, can we talk about something, they think you about to talk about something that they in trouble or they done got busted with or something bad has happened. And it's like, look, I want to have a lot more orgasms during sex. If you say that, I want to have more orgasms during sex, can you help me? What man is going to be like, hell no, you on your own with that, girl? No, then you say, hey, can we try toys, or can we try this? Can we try that? It's funny. I saw a comedian and I saw a meme that was funny to me, because it's like 20s and 30s guys are like really intimidated and mad if a girl tries to bring toys in the relationship. So they're like, you gonna like that more than me because I can't do that. Then you get to 40s and 50s and they're like, where the damn toy at? Because they don't want to do all that foreplay stuff. So they're like, I need the toy to get you to the point that I need you to get to, so that we can go on to this, get to the next level. So it's the age range too, the maturity.
I think
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I think too that goes back to a conversation that we had maybe 2 podcast episodes before, when we were talking and T and I were talking about, I mean, if you've got that vibe with somebody and you can have those kinds of conversations, and I think you can do that comfortably. But if the vibe's not there and things are just kind of awkward, then it's just going to be weird. Like, let's say we have a conversation about it and then we both wind up busting out laughing because maybe we just like, we don't know what we're talking about, but we just thought we'd try it because this is what they said we need to be doing. So you down or not? You know what I mean?
I think it's fun. I mean, I think when you think too much about sex and orgasms and things like that, it's not going to happen. But if you go into it, let's have fun. Let's, have a good time. Like you said about the 50 Shades of Grey, if you talking to me about it, damn right. When I come home tomorrow, I'm expecting you to be tying my ass up, because we talked about it last night. Like, what's up? Like, why the straps ain't out? So, you just have to have a conversation about it and make it fun, not a job. Like, okay, look, tomorrow we clocking in and we're going to play with this toy for 10 minutes. And then we're going to have sex. You're going to have an orgasm. I'm going to have an orgasm. And then that's it. Okay. Then you need to go cook dinner. Like, come on.
Okay. So I want to say, okay, so we're having this conversation, y'all. So we having toys and all of this in our relationship. What about condoms though? Like, what feelings do they actually take away? Because I know, like, some people that like to use condoms and some people don't like to use condoms. But what feeling does it actually takes away?
It's a good question. For Stacy too. I mean, we're going to call you our sexpert or our subject matter expert.
Subject matter.
I just speaking from experience, I just happen to know that like my husband and I, even before we got married, I mean, there were attempts that were made to use condoms. We have 2 kids, so clearly, there was a glitch in the matrix there. But he has always said, oh, well, it just doesn't feel the same. Like, it's not as sensitive. And I'm like, but there's this lubricant that's it's gonna tingle for you on your side. It'll tingle for me on my side. And like, we should be good. But a lot of dudes want to talk about condoms just ain't it. They don't like how they feel. They feel like they're too small. Even a magnum is too small. They don't like the ribbed. They don't like, the thin. So like, what can we do? Because that barrier is supposed to be keeping us healthy as far as our sexual health and not contracting any diseases and keeping our Pikachu safe. And then helping, with pregnancy, if you're not in a state that you are looking to possibly, be expecting a baby 9 months from your experience.
I think I've heard more. Me personally, I don't feel a difference, and I don't know if it's because I'm always lubricated enough to where I don't feel a difference with the condom. And a lot of guys say they feel the difference because it's on them. I mean, you know what I mean? It's constricting them. So guys just don't like to use condoms. I've never really felt the difference. When my husband and I first started dating, I didn't feel the difference. Now I'm sure he felt the difference when we finally made the decision not to wear any more condoms. So with you're asking like what can we do to I don't know. So part of me wants to say the guys just need to buck up because girls, girls can use more lubricant to make it, to make it so the rubber doesn't rub against you too much or the friction and things like that. But semen, even if you're not trying to get semen, messes up your pH balance, and it does more for some women, less for some. So you can be married and be fine, and I'm like I say I'm fixed like a dog, but I my tubes are tied. So, but semen can make your pH balance jack up to where the next day you don't smell too fresh because of something he ate, or you know what I mean, something he's doing with his diet that messed up his semen, that messed up your pH balance. So if you need him to wear a condom, he needs to wear a condom, and he needs to not be whining about it either.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not alkaline, then there's going to be issues, and there are women that actually have allergic reactions from semen, and and their dude's not in the street. It's not about him being out there. It's just your pH is not jiving with my pH, and now I have to take chlorophyll, and now I have to do CMOS, and now I have to do all these other things just to make sure that I'm not itching and scratching like I got crabs.
Yep, and y'all, chlorophyll is wonderful. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but chlorophyll is wonderful. I don't drink it. I take the pill form because I can't drink things that are green. That I don't know. That's just, but I'll take the pill form. So yeah,
that's a good point that Brenna made. So if your pH balance is not like compatible with somebody else, pH balance, it kind of throws everything off. I do know that some guys stated that their sensitivity goes away when using condoms. And T, I would like you to iterate in this.
I mean, we kind of, when we was talking about the show, I mean, as far as the condoms, I guess to me, it's just your preference. I guess kind of like with Stacy saying, I mean, I guess once you get to that point, because if you're just dating someone, that's not really even an option. You know what I'm saying? If we just talking about just dating, not to say I ain't trying to say I'm no saint or nothing like that. I ain't saying that, but I'm just saying now, I'm going to be a little bit more, a little smarter. So to me, it's a matter of once y'all get to that point, is it exclusive? You know what I'm saying? Are y'all exclusive with each other? Because like you said, whether it's the pH or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Are y'all exclusive? Because if y'all ain't exclusive, then we definitely, hey, let's go ahead and definitely take that off the table because we ain't even exclusive. So that's just me and my personal opinion about the whole condom thing or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, is are you exclusive, or that's kind of my thing on it, you know what I'm saying? And then I know like Stacey was saying, her husband, they eventually made that decision together, you know what I'm saying, to say, that's what they're not going to do. But they, at that point, were exclusive. Sure, they were talking about, married or either married, whatever the case may be. So that's when that conversation was relevant, not prior to that, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my take on that.
Natalie, can you get on this?
Yeah, I always thought that it meant that they weren't being exclusive, that they were stepping out. It was something that the men were doing, on their end that caused, not necessarily STDs, but bacterial infections and, your pH balance to be out of whack. So is there a, like, obviously there's no way for you to tell and be for sure what things, come into play like that, but it doesn't always say that, hey, he's cheating on you. Sometimes it's just maybe what he's washing with, what you're washing
Yes.
with, or just what's already down there in the mix before y'all do y'all thing. So
Yeah. When you have a bacteria infection, don't let a doctor tell you. I mean, I had a doctor tell me when I had a bacteria infection that it was an STD before. And then I go right to my OBGYN and he was like, no, this is just a bacteria infection. You can't really tell where bacteria infections come from. If it was an STD, he would have said, no, this is an STD. You know what I mean? A bacteria infection can come from maybe your man was sweaty down there and y'all go to do it without a condom and his sweat did not jive very well. Sweat's very, like, it has a lot of bacteria in it. Like, it's putting a lot of bacteria in you. And if he uses powder or if he ate something that changed his alkaline or his pH and then he puts it in you and then, something festers and, it's also not peeing after you have sex. If you don't go pee after you have sex, you're putting yourself in a very high risk of getting a bacteria infection, a bladder infection, all kinds of things down there. Because I told y'all, we ain't plug and play. So, you got to wash some things sometimes, you got to get ready for this action that we about to have.
Well, yeah, too. And, with women, your urethra is right there. Like, I don't know how many times I've had this conversation and like men do not understand that when a woman is urinating, where her urine comes out is not the same spot that when she's on her cycle comes out. Like, I'm like, how do y'all not understand that?
I've met females who didn't know either. Who were
Yeah.
They're in the same spot. I'm like, baby, not even the same area, honey.
Not even the same area, honey. Like, where are you putting that organic tampon? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And another thing too, with guys is sugar. So semen relies on sugar so that it can keep the sperm motile and they can climb their way and like find the way and get to where that they need to get to. So if you have a dude that eats a lot of candy or eats a lot of carbs and processed foods and things like that, that's gonna alter the pH of his ejaculation fluid. And if that fluid is getting into your body because y'all have opted to not use condoms, then there you go with an irritation because the pH is not jiving.
So Brenda, what you're saying is it's throwing it off?
Throwing it off. If I'm on low sugar, if I'm taking CMOS gel, if I'm taking chlorophyll, if I'm taking vitamins, and I barely take any type of processed sugar, processed breads, things like that, but here you are eating sundaes and ice cream and you lactose intolerant, that's building up something else in your system. Now you're giving all of that inflammation to me and putting it in my body, but I'm the one that's suffering from it.
Yeah, a bacteria infection does not mean an STD.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can have sex
but you be scared though. Let one thing be off, and you be like, oh hell.
Yes.
What he done did now? What is going on?
Let me go to the doctor and see what's going on
immediately.
And Edwina, what do you have to say about this?
I totally agree with what you guys are saying. I feel the same way about everything. I was going to also ask you, Stacy, since we're talking about sex. I was always curious to find out why some women are afraid to try anal and why people make a big deal about it if you do decide to try anal.
Excuse me, try what?
Oh, you're saying anal, right? Okay, anal. Okay. Butt sex.
We're talking
We're
about
saying butt sex, anal, right?
a lot of people, some women, I'm not gonna say a lot, some women think it's bad to do anal.
Or maybe they just
No,
get hurt. I don't know if they think it's bad. Maybe they.
yeah. I think people that don't like anal, it's one or two things. They have not tried it yet, and when they tried it, they didn't do it right. So, but if you did it right, all of us should like it if it's done right. And it's just,
I agree
it,
with you, Stacy. If
it's,
it's done
yeah.
right.
Stacey, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on
Yeah,
that.
I'm,
This is Dominique. I'm signing off
Dominique,
right now
Dominique,
as we speak.
Dominique, I'm gonna also exit the chat on this
I am
one.
gonna leave real.
Y'all
No, I'm
got me
just
weak
saying.
on that. Every time I say that at a party, I have half and half. Everybody's like, "Oh hell no!" And the other
Look,
person's like, "What's wrong
this
with
is
I'm not.
you?"
turning into a debate
I'm gonna
for
say this.
sure.
I'm gonna say this. I know I understand that a lot of people will say that they get pleasure from it. I also understand, and this ties back to some of the things that we were talking about with religious purposes and religious beliefs. A lot of people felt like if you're just doing oral or if you're just doing anal, then you're still considered a virgin and all those other things. So I'm going to go ahead and just share with y'all. Unfortunately, I've had a really, really, really messed up gastrointestinal type situation. So between my appendicitis and my gallbladder, C. diff infections, terrible diarrhea. Like for me, it's just I just can't get my mind around.
And that's fine, yeah, right. And
the
that's
diarrhea coming out of my butt.
Yeah. You have issues there, so you can't go there, and that's fine. Yeah, if you didn't have those issues though, and it was done right, if you were,
But
and I
Stacey,
can't.
how can it be done right? That is
curious to know.
specifically for you to discharge your
See,
toxins
Dominique,
inside of your body.
that's what I'm talking about. Why some women feel the way you do.
I don't know why they feel the way they do because it ain't done right. But
I agree
when
with
you're
you, Stacy, on that.
because it ain't just been done right. If one, you have to be very comfortable with the person, and you have to be completely relaxed. Because if you're tense and worried about what's coming out, then those kind of things are. I'm not saying that I like to do it all the time, but when I'm in the mood to do it, it needs to be done right. And that's with lube. That's relaxation. That I might have had a couple of drinks, but it's a very strong orgasm that you can get from anal.
I have a question. I feel like I'm in health class because oh my God, I have so many questions. And question number one, as far as how do you naturally lubricate in your rectum
You don't.
to be able to accept a penis? Like,
You
how
don't.
does that even work?
You have to use lubricant, not naturally lubricate down there. You have to use lubricant.
So wait,
I was gonna say,
can we meet halfway? Can we meet halfway? Just eat the booty like groceries. Like, I just don't really think that it needs to be going in there. That worries me. Infection.
That's
the Delta
great
8
too.
variant. I'm scared. I'm frightened.
Don't do it. If you're scared, don't do it because you're really not going to be relaxed enough to do it. So don't do it if you're scared.
I need to be under general anesthesia.
Booty like groceries.
But
Chris Brown, I hope
eating
you
the booty
listening
like
to
groceries
this.
that too is great. That too is wonderful. Yep, that's good.
But Brenna, there's some toys that can actually help you make that area sort of loose back there.
Is that the beads? Is that the beads that you're talking about? And like the different sizes of the beads?
Different sizes and rhinestones and all that other good stuff.
Rhinestones?
I learned from a friend. Don't take my advice.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of toys out there that can help you.
From a friend.
From a friend.
friends.
I've seen some toys.
She heard. She
have-
heard. She's telling y'all what she heard.
I heard from a friend. She told me
Right.
it's a butt plug. It's pink. It's a pink rhinestone.
Okay, y'all. That's what she heard. She just telling
I
y'all.
don't. Yeah, I don't know any of my friends' butt plug colors unless I sold it to them.
Want to know?
Natalie was gonna say something. Natalie, come in.
I've seen toys with two, like one for the vagina and one for anal.
They're wonderful.
Yes, my friends said the same thing, Stacy. They're wonderful.
Her friend from a friend, Natalie.
No, I
Okay.
practice all sex.
Okay, so back to class. Okay, class is in session. So the ones that are both ends, is that for one person? Is that
DB?
one?
Yes.
One goes in the Pikachu and the other one goes in the booty, or
Yes.
or are we sharing, like we're sitting
Yes.
on a seesaw? Like, what is that? What are we doing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not the ones I'm talking about. Now
Okay.
there are some like that what you're talking about, like for guys that like it, or for two lesbians, or that there's toys out there for them to enjoy together.
Right.
But I'm talking about the deep, like what Natalie, that was Natalie that said that, yeah, that those are double penetration toys. So one goes in the vagina, one goes in the anus. They vibrate and make you hit a level of orgasm that you probably will never feel unless you have that toy.
Is that because it's going deeper and it's going and it's hitting the G spot?
That and the fact that they vibrate.
I mean, I know someone. I mean, and she's like she has, her and her dude, they have sex all of the time, but she says she never has an orgasm. He's got to give her head and that's it. Like, they could pound all night and she will not have an orgasm unless she gets head, either before or after. She said she does not get an orgasm from straight penis vaginal sex.
Some people have a hide and seek G spot inside the vagina, so the G spot is not very aroused during sex, and that's why she's having a clitoral orgasm easier, because the clitoris is on the outside of the body, the G spot is on the inside of the body, and we sell a thing called GPS. It's a cream that you put inside the body where you think the G spot is, that area, and it makes it kind of like wakes up the G spot. It makes it it wakes it up. It makes it engorge. So when you're having sex, he has no choice but to hit it, and it brings it out of the open. Okay. So you'll reach a G spot orgasm with it, or or with a toy if you want to use it with a toy. But yeah, some people, I've heard a lot of women, it's a very common thing in all of my parties that they're like, I've never had a G spot orgasm, but a clitoral orgasm all day long. Like, I can, they draws can rub their clitoris right all day long, and then they're like, all right, I'm ready. I need to go do something. But a G spot, it's harder to reach. It's harder to get there. And then, if you've had a lot of vaginal trauma, then your G spot is not very easily reached. And I'm not saying vaginal trauma like everybody was raped or anything like that. I'm talking about having sex with no lubricant is vaginal trauma, because you have tears that happen, and then they happen in the area of your G spot, and it damages it, and it makes it hard to have a G spot orgasm. So, you gotta watch that.
Okay, that was interesting. I didn't know that. And just to go back, Edwina, I'm just playing with you.
I knew you know.
I'm sorry.
Question, like, because we're on this, and I don't
Yes,
mind.
boo. Yes, boo.
So, let me ask you this. So, we're talking about the Jesus. I'm listening. I'm normally very not lost and like, oh, okay. But let me ask you, what about multiple orgasm? How do y'all feel about it? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never had multiple orgasms. Like, never. Like, I mean, my G spot can be hit, but after that, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Like, I'm not it ain't, we gonna still go 30 more minutes. Like, I don't have multiple orgasms. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, and I've always been like that. Like, what do you know what I'm saying?
Everybody's body is different, so some of them you can or you can't. I didn't start having multiple orgasms probably until I was later and closer to the age I am now. But the also, I mean, if you were a fly on the wall and you see the different positions, I can't have multiple orgasms in the same position. Like if I had one orgasm in this position, I might need to be flipped over and put on my forehead a little bit to get another orgasm, or I might need to be jumping off of something. But I can have multiple orgasms. I just can't. What I've known about myself, not everybody. I'm just saying what I have experienced. That I need a different position, and usually it's I'm folded up like a pretzel, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I can get there now.
Oh,
I can get there again. Yeah, it's coming again, but I can't do it. If we're doing missionary and you hit it right and I had an orgasm, I can't do it that way. And
oh.
Come
yeah, I need
on,
to get.
come on, flexible. Come on,
Okay,
Yeah.
flexibility.
let me go.
Okay,
Put a
Stacy,
leg
since
up,
you
baby.
said
Let me put a leg up in there real quick.
since you said that was her experience, what you got to say about the people who have multiple orgasms and just can't stop?
Oh, I don't know about those people. I think that those people are what the porn industries are looking for. But y'all don't believe the porn industry though. Those people,
Yeah.
they are they've had sex for 20 minutes and they will cut tape and edit, and they look like they've had sex for 30 hours, and these people are on cocaine. So they can go. All right. So but but when you're like, I want to have multiple orgasms like the people in the porn industry, you got to be on a lot of drugs to do that. And they're not, that stuff is edited. That stuff is very edited. It's not
Yeah,
real life.
yeah, I'm glad I ain't said it was me. Because Stacy just ripped me apart. Okay.
No, no, no,
Listen,
no, no. I'm just saying,
listen.
like I don't know what I don't know those people that can't stop having orgasms. I need to meet them. I need to rub elbows. I don't know about shaking hands, but I need to rub elbows with that
Yeah,
person that can do
Right.
that.
y'all, I'm not
Somebody,
on cocaine.
somebody, somebody sent me a joke on TikTok about. Have you noticed? Did you know that every hand you have shaken has had a dick in it? And after I thought
Oh,
about that, I was like, oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of like where Dominique is coming from. Like I feel it. I understand like where she's coming from. But then I also have my moments where like sometimes it's just like once I get that point of orgasm, okay, great. And if we gonna go, okay, great. But then I reach a point when I'm just like so tired. I just want that good
Yeah.
sleep. Like
Yep.
literally, like just put me to bed and then just let me get this good sleep because I know in 4 hours I'm gonna have to open my eyes and get ready for work, school, whatever else, da 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 da.
Hmm.
But sometimes it just depends. Like other times I can't. Other times I'm just like I don't have it in me
Yeah. And
to
I don't
keep
either.
going. You know,
Sometimes
sometimes
I
I
don't want
do.
multiple.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
and I
Mhm.
got another question moving on from this. I want to know how everyone learned about sex and foreplay and toys. How did you explore this? We'll start with Natalie.
I went to Starship, the toy store, but I don't think I was there for toys. I think I was going to get like some piercings, like a belly button ring and like some gauges. Somebody told me that they sold them in there. So then when I went, I'm like, oh, it actually wasn't Starship. It was Spencer's in the mall where they sell all the jewelry. And then they have that back corner of like whips and handcuffs and lingerie and all this other stuff. So I didn't necessarily go there for that, but then once I saw it, I was like, okay, I'll be back because I want to see what that's about. I mean, when you're in a long-term relationship, you have to spice things up. It gets old, it gets redundant, and it's just like, okay, this is fun and all, but it's not all of the relationship entails. So you have to bring those different elements into the bedroom and just kind of spice it up, whether it's, the vibrators or the lubricants. Like, I feel like those are all like basics that most people, it's like, okay, let's try this. It's not nothing that's like the whips, the chain, the swing that I've heard y'all mention. It's like, oh, that's next level. Like, I'm not saying I would be opposed to trying those. I mean,
Edwina
I'm
and the
open.
swing.
I'm open for it, but it's just like you have to have that level of comfortability with your partner and not offend them like, hey, you're not doing this for me, so we need to bring something else in the room because that thing is not doing it. You can't, it's a way, like y'all said earlier, of bringing it up and just saying, hey, making it fun because, you want to try different things, and that's how you build a bond between each other as well. It's like just trying new stuff out.
Good,
That's
good,
how
good,
I
Does
good.
Edwina have a swing? Is that what
Edwina,
you just said?
Edwina, what's your comment about this? How do you learn about sex, foreplay, and toys?
Same here, like Natalie. I was actually going to a store to buy an outfit. I like to play dress up, so that's how I came across some of the toys and videos and some edible candy underwear, and I was like, ooh, this stuff seems like fun. So that's how I got introduced to stuff like that by going to the store and just shopping for clothes, shopping for undergarments. Yeah.
Okay, Brenna.
I mean, listen, I practice. I mean, I just literally was messing around and playing around, with this dude and who was, my guy at the time. And it was a lot of practice kind of makes perfect. And then conversations with friends like, oh, so-and-so did this and it felt like this. And I was like, ooh, well, let me try that. And then bringing that up in conversation and all that, because I do remember as I was getting older and I crossed over into the teenage years, like my mom handing me a book, and the book was basically explaining the changes to your body and your menstrual cycle and your growing breasts and all this other kind of stuff, but it had nothing to do with sex and what it means and what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And when I say acceptable, not acceptable, meaning that not every person is going to have the same physical response that another person's going to have. I mean, some people like it hard and fast. Sometimes hard and fast is great, but other times I'm like, oh, she's a little sensitive. Like, just slow it down just a little bit, and then you're fine. So it's so individualized, and there really is no blanket explanation, for it. You just have to start having an understanding of the parts of your body and what does what. And I think we need to start with understanding that where you urinate from and where your cycle comes out of, where you deliver a baby, there's not the same hole, ladies. Not y'all,
Yeah.
but everybody else out there. I know y'all know, but a lot of people don't, understand simple, basic, like fundamentals like that. And then I think a couple of weeks ago, I think it was Stacy, I feel like it was in your group. You had something posted, and it was like, if you want to know or have an understanding of what a vagina feels like to a man, it's like, touch the inside of your cheek from the inside. Was that your
With
page?
your tongue. Yeah,
Yes.
no, with your tongue.
Yeah.
Like if you feel the inside of your cheek is what the inside of your vagina feels to a man. Yeah. Yeah.
See what how you learn about sex, foreplay, and toys.
Oh, honey, clearly I'm not an expert at this because I must be still learning or something because you ladies are a little bit more experienced than me. Honestly, I mean, sex, I don't know. I mean, it's just honestly, I have no clue. I was not taught that, so that was just something you did. I guess that's all I can say. And as far as the toys, just being honest, I ain't never used nothing but that little ring that went around your finger that vibrated. That's the only thing I've ever even tried. So I know that's so elementary, okay, but that's the only thing I've ever tried, honestly. So kind of like, I mean, I'm kind of inexperienced there.
Let me tell y'all about me. It was pretty raw just riding in the Chevy watching porn. That was it. That's as far as I have
No, I
went.
mean, I like to watch porn. I've actually watched porn, and what I'm saying, it stepped it up a little bit. So yeah, now I do agree with you on that one. Yeah, I fucks with the watching porns.
I agree, T. I've watched both for her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have a couple of porn watchers in
Yeah,
here.
I
I
watch
don't.
porn.
I
Well,
don't.
of
I
course I
don't.
do. But
Yeah,
yeah, I watch it.
I don't mind porn at all. But I mean, porn makes me laugh. I just think it's hysterical because it's just funny. It's just funny to me. I
I was
watch it,
gonna
but
ask.
it's funny. I'm not like ooh. It just
I
makes
was
me laugh.
gonna say, how long do you have to scroll until you find a perfect video?
It's a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Oh,
no,
y'all ain't watching the right
okay,
thing.
Yeah.
no,
Oh
Y'all
yeah,
not
no, that's
watching the
Categories.
right thing.
I do a
Well,
lot of
well,
scrolling.
well, Dominique, where do we need to go, honey? Do we need put it in the comments?
Right.
Girl, that was 15 years ago.
Oh,
Look, we don't need the porn no more, y'all.
right.
Okay.
She said,
We
yeah,
good.
I
okay.
mean, now I still mess with some porn now. For me, I'm just being honest. What I'm saying? I still mess with porn now. If anything,
I agree with you.
I'll still mess with it. Don't get me wrong. It's still, it's good.
So, what do we do? Like, what are the things that are suggested? Like, Stacy, what are your top three in terms of? Let's say you're not in the mood. You're not in the mood because the kids has been at you all day. Blah blah blah. The AC just went out, so the house is hot as hell. You annoyed because it's a $6,000 repair job, and on top of that, you got a flat tire. So you're really just not in the mood. You just want to take a bath. You just want to relax. You just want to go to sleep. But your husband is like he gonna want to get him some. He gonna want to scoot over and all this other kind of stuff. Like, what do you do? Like, what are the things that you do to get yourself in that mood so that you can participate and satisfy? Because I've experienced situations where I completely had told myself I wasn't in the mood and had that mental block. But after the fact, I was like, oh, I'm glad. I'm glad I went ahead and did that. Even though I didn't think I was really feeling like I'm glad I went ahead and did that. Let me go on and get my sleep. Good night.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
suggest?
What do I suggest? My end. If he's knocking on the door and I ain't trying to open it, but I know I got to. I'll go ahead and put some lubricant down there and let him go on and do his business. But most of the time, we've been together long enough that he knows what he can do to get me to orgasm or to get me in the mood. So, 9 times out of 10, it always starts when I didn't feel like it, but I felt like it by the end. Like you said, Brenda, I was like, hey, I'm glad I did that because that shit was good. But that's just what if he's knocking on the door, if your significant other is knocking on the door and you don't feel like opening it up, go ahead and open it up, y'all, and put you some lubricant down there and let him get his, and hopefully you'll find your way.
Okay. That's that. So you're saying it's all for satisfying your partner as well. It's not all about you all the time, right?
Yeah, it's not all about us. I mean, we want it to be all about us, y'all, but it ain't all about us. I mean, it takes us a while to get there, but when we get there, it's good for us and it's good for your mental. You're gonna be in a better mood. Everybody's gonna like you more if you have more orgasms in your house. My kids might like me more, and I love them all. I just don't like them all the time. So I just if you have more orgasms, you'll be more likable. Period.
So you're saying your mood will change. You'll be happier. You'll be willing to, dance all night. You know, I feel you though. I feel the same way.
Yeah, I go ahead and give it to him.
Get
If
them,
he
get,
if
get
he
them,
want it.
get them, get them clear heels on and all that good stuff.
Lord have mercy.
Look, as long as I don't gotta walk in, I'm fine. I got a knee
Oh,
injury, so I could just put them on and be cute. Just
And
don't
I
make,
yeah.
just don't make
Put
me
your feet in
walk.
the air.
I want to say this. I want to ask this question too. How can you tell if someone's having multiple partners though? How
Hey,
can you
hey,
tell?
you can't.
Okay.
You just can't. Because I mean, some people are like, oh well, if she's loose, you can, or if he's no, you really can't. Everybody's vagina and everybody's penis is different, so you can't really say. He can't tell if you have multiple partners, and you can't tell if he has multiple partners. I mean, even though your vagina will loosen and get tighter whichever way you are in your cycle. Even if you're not having a cycle anymore, you still have hormones, so your vagina gets tighter or loose
It's a
during the month.
muscle. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a muscle. But I did read an article that talked about how to tell if your partner is having relations with other people,
your
and
cell phone.
the no, it wasn't even the cell phone or going through the phone or anything like that. It was the all of a sudden you're switching up how you like to do things, or
Oh well,
you're all
yeah,
of a sudden you're
yeah.
trying new positions that for you were never doing before. Like let's say
Oh,
let's
that's
say
interesting.
Yeah,
let's say doggy style used to never do it for him, but it always did it for you. And then now all of a sudden, 3 years later, he want to flip you over each and every time. You're like, wait, hold on, what's happening
What
here?
about
yeah. I was
he
thinking
just
about a
watching
more
porn? No, you
physical.
can't. What
Yeah,
about if he just watching porn and just saying, "Hey, I need to watch some porn.
yeah.
I can do better
I
for
was
my
talking
wife."
about more physical action. How can you tell physically? You're talking about how can you tell basically almost mentally? Because yeah, he could be watching porn and he's like, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this one day on her, and I'm gonna keep. It doesn't really mean he's cheating on you, but it is a flag that needs to be flown that you might need to check on. You know how you got them checks, like you got a flag that you got a penalty flag that was thrown
Wait,
down.
the flag needs to be thrown up.
Flag on the play.
Yeah,
We gonna
Right,
walk.
yeah,
I
We
see
gonna
flag
we
you
on
gonna
the
laughing over
run
there.
it
Blow
What's
back.
the
your
whistle.
opinion?
Flag on the
Blow
play.
the
I'm
Run it
gonna
whistle.
back.
chime in.
Run it back. We gotta watch it
yeah,
again. Run it back.
yeah. Where like, and then you look at them like, where you learn that from? Where you learn that from? And then hopefully they just say it was porn, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Can we watch that
Show
together?
me.
Yeah,
Show
show
me.
me.
Show
Yes.
me.
See, I want to see the porn you was watching.
Let's look at it together.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it might be
Okay,
just a
y'all.
flag on the play. It don't really mean that he was cheating.
And we are almost coming into the end of the show. And
Oh, this
again,
was
Stacy,
fun.
thank you so much. I mean, I am so grateful. We are so grateful you decided to do this with us today. And just before we go, I just want to ask the last question, y'all. Are we in today's world relying too much on sex to get our pleasure on and stuff like that? We'll start with you, Natalie.
I feel like now, I'm older. It's not like number one on my list, especially, I have been in a relationship for a little over a year now. So when we started dating, it wasn't something that was like a deal breaker to me. Like, we waited a while, because we wanted to get to know each other. But I knew that in the back of my mind that, okay, whether it's great, whether it's bad, it's not a deal breaker because there are so many other, attributes that go into somebody being a good person that
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily like, I was young once, I was in college. It's like, okay, been there, done that. It's like sex just isn't everything to me. So I feel like we always talk about it in society. It's always like a battle of the sexes. It's always a competition with the men. It's always, something that women are not always able to put their finger on when it comes to pleasing themselves and this and that. So I just feel like some people do put too much thought into it. It should just be something that's, fun. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not the type of person that has to have sex every day because
Yeah.
I'm so busy and, I'm working. I'm trying to strive for more with my businesses. And it's just at the back of my mind now that I'm 30 as opposed to when I was 21.
Good. Brenda?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the differences between sex and the enjoyment in sex and the pleasure does not measure up to, what it was as a teenager, you know what I'm saying? And then resulting in that and having a kid. I mean, it's different now, as Stacy's saying, like when you get older and then you start to have, and even Natalie, when you start to get older and you have a little more, I guess, understanding and appreciation, of yourself and can take the steps to do a little more research and homework. I mean, I didn't, where was I going to go look to figure out if I'm doing it right besides porn? Like, mom, is this right? Like, is this how it's supposed to feel? Like that conversation just wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? And then we're just figuring it out, and he's attempting multiple times with, with different things. And I'm just like, oh, I don't think it's supposed to go there. I don't think it's supposed to be that much work, but you trying to get it in there. Something not right. So now I think that it's great to be able to share this information. It's great to be able to have, ways to discuss this. And, for those of us that have daughters, I have boys, but I'm still going to have conversations with them so that they can understand what it is going to, possibly be going through the mind mentally and emotionally of any young lady that they decide to get involved with physically. There's that, you're connected to people like that. I mean, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, especially when you're young.
T?
Well, honestly, I would have to. I think Nat probably described it best for me. So I don't want to really repeat it, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it as well. Um, like I said before, I've never really had multiple orgasms, so I'm not like that's not my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? 666, because again, I have to be there anyway. You have to really have me there. The vibe got to be there. I have to really be there. Otherwise, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be what I'm saying, a no for me anyway. That's just what it is. So I think it's the vibe, like you stated. We weren't really thought about it. And I think it has to be more than just the sex. You know what I'm saying? It had to me for me. I know some people, what I'm saying, it don't matter. They can just have it. That's not me. I can only speak for myself. So I would say yes, it has to be the whole vibe. I don't have to have sex every day. Like Nat was saying, I got a million and one other things going on. So honestly, listen, unless you're trying to, what I'm saying, help, or we got a conversation, or I feel like, what I'm saying, you understand what my world is right now, it's I'm not really gonna be there anyway. So that's just my thoughts.
Edwina?
I will have to relate with Natalie and as I got older, sex is not a big thing as it was when I was younger.
Come closer.
Like T said, I'm focused on work, my children, other things. Like if it happens, great, but it's not the first thing on my mind. Like, I gotta have sex every day now. Focus on.
Stacy, what you think?
At my age, I'm only 40, y'all, so 41. So, but I don't have as much sex as I used to have. But you know how it's better to have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. I will have, but I appreciate the sex times that I have now. So I don't have as much, but what I have now is much better than what I had before. You get what I'm saying? So I know what I'm doing now to where I can get there. Plus, I'm talking about I don't have sex that often, but I play with my toys often. Okay. So I might not have, not having sex very often with my husband, but the orgasms happen.
And Stacy, I just want to ask you this question because I was researching on the internet and the most interesting thing that I saw was the ring. Am I too juvenile for that?
Juvenile,
It
which
looks like
ring? What
it's
are you
more
talking
like
about?
it's discreet and stuff. The ring.
What? There's a lot of different rings out there. Which one are you talking about? Like, give me more
The like
details.
the vibrator ring that you just put it on your finger.
Oh, you're talking, yeah, because, yeah, we have a finger vibe, so you can slip it on your finger like yeah. And you're not too, anything that can get you there is good. I don't care what it is. Okay, that's a good starter one. I mean, it is one that you'll probably keep and keep forever, especially if you buy it now. Like, nothing is really battery operated now. They're all rechargeable, so you don't have to keep buying batteries. You just plug it up like you do your cell phone, and you know keep it charged. And they're waterproof. If you don't have a battery operated one, it's plug in. It's 9 times out of 10 is waterproof, so you can take it in the shower or the bathtub with you.
And Stacy, do you sell the candles that make you want to have sex, like the candles?
What are you talking about? The ones with the pheromones in them?
The one that you just light up and it just says that it makes you want to get intimate.
Yeah, I used to sell those with Tasteful Treasures when I was with Tasteful Treasures, but now we have a candle. It's a hot oil massage candle. It does smell good, but when you warm it up and you rub it on your skin, and it's like a hot oil massage. So that's the only candle that I have, but I know what candles you're talking about. I don't sell that one per se. We have pheromone spray that you can spray on your body for body oil, or the pure we have the pheromones that you roll on yourself. So those all get you in the mood. Those kind of things with the pheromones in them, but I don't have the candle.
Okay. I just wanted to know your review on it because, like I said, I've never tried these things and I'm looking around and I'm shopping. I'm definitely going to you. I just want you to tell everybody where they can find you, your website, your Facebook, everything you have in store. And just let them know so we can go visit that site. And I know my girls here, some of them interested on it. So
Okay, so the website that you want to go to get my stuff is pureromance.com/Stacy Brothers. If it asks you for where your who's your consultant, just make sure it says Stacy Brothers at the top corner of the screen. But it's www.pureromance.com/Stacy Brothers. Then you can go to my Facebook page. The Facebook group is where you can find like sales and deals and things like that on the stuff that's on my website. Um, so I'll put stuff on sale that's not on the website, and you can buy it through me and not go to the website and get it shipped to you. It'll ship to, I'll have it on hand and I'll sell it to you. But I usually put a lot of stuff on sale. I try to do it often.
Yeah, and your shipping is fast too, so you get it like that.
Right. So, and that's the Grown and Sexy, Stacy's Grown and Sexy VIP group on Facebook. So join that group so you can get sales and stuff. And tell me what you're looking for on there, and I'll let you know about it.
So you all heard Stacy, and please, 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 yes, shop with her. Go to her Facebook, and she also gave you her site. Thank you so much, Stacy. You are actually the first guest that we had here in Real Chill Conversations. So that is very special to us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
It definitely, it means a lot. I got to say this. And, I know everybody had questions, but I was like, me and Stacy go like way back, like way, 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 way back.
Way back. Yeah.
So we definitely appreciate you. And Guys, it's time to cut this live off, and I hope you all enjoyed the show today. Thank you, Brenna. Thank you, T. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Edwina. Thank you, Stacy. We all came together to make tonight happen, and we will see y'all next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all have a good day.
Yes.
Bye. Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye.